Stephen, I'll start with you. The burden you've had to carry since your dad left you in charge of the family empire has been immense. What were your initial thoughts when he asked you to take over?
Honestly, at first, I was really excited. Like, I was like, okay, this is the time that I've been waiting on my entire life. Like, I'm going to single-handedly turn this farm around, turn all these businesses around. And then that quickly went away as soon as I got hit with all of the problems that my dad has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I realized very quickly that this was way too much for any one person to take on. And I don't know how my dad's done it for all these years. And then I had a couple family meetings with Cole, Jesse, and my mom, and was like, hey, I'm lost here. I'm going to need your guys' help if we're going to make it through all this. And so it was truly a team effort to figure out how we were going to run this place without my dad in charge. And there's no way one person could have done this successfully by themselves.
Cole and Jesse, you two are still such a huge part of the business, obviously. I know there's been some growing pains between the three of you, but how are y'all running things today?
I mean, we all find what we like, what we're good in, what we do well in, and we kind of, we stay in our lane. We kind of know our strengths and we know where we belong, and that's kind of how we've been splitting things up. There's times where, as you guys can obviously tell, that I, you know, there's times that everybody, all three of us, want to be in charge, and there's times that we fight over that, and you'll see that in season 2 between Steven and I. Steven and I seem to butt heads quite a bit, but it's really because we have the same personality and we just care so much about our farming operation, about our businesses. We want everything to work out so good that we're pouring our heart and soul into everything. So there's going to be arguments. There's going to be, fights. That's just whenever you're pouring everything into it like this, that's how it is.
Jesse, do you feel like you're being heard? I know you're a little soft spoken.
Yeah, I don't give my opinion too often. I usually let I'm surrounded by very alpha male type characters between Stephen Cole and my dad. So they definitely give an opinion for all of us and enough. So I usually chip in when I feel the time is right and when I feel it's necessary. Besides that, I usually let them clash it out and try to pick the winning side for the most part.
What you boys have been asked to do regarding the family business, I think, has been very difficult. I think, Stephen, you yourself have called your father Captain Chaos. I mean, I have to ask, do you ever feel any resentment towards him for the situation you were put into?
No, because we're so lucky and blessed. Like we have been given the opportunity that no one our age ever has been. And we, with the farms that we have, with the houses that we live in, like we are so blessed and so thankful for both of our parents that have done so much for us. So there are times where I get frustrated, but then right immediately after that, I think about everything that I've been given and how much we've been spoiled compared to anyone else. And I'm like, man, I have no reasons to complain about any single thing about my parents whatsoever.
I have loved meeting your mother this season, Mama McBee, Miss Christie. Did she need any convincing at all to begin filming with y'all?
Yes, she did. She is the complete opposite of my dad. Don't ask me how they met and ended up working out. They are complete opposites. My dad is like, that we always been saying, larger than life, like just his, just an extrovert, always wants to go out. And my mom is the complete opposite. She's to herself. She doesn't want anybody to know anything about her. So it was kind of a lot to get her to do this. This really brought her out of her, out of her shell, like made her, just do things she wasn't really comfortable doing. And but I think honestly, afterwards, I think she enjoyed it more than she thought, she even would, looking back, and filming with us all the time, and just being able to see these memories we had back on camera. Not always good, but a lot of them are good, and be able to look back at these are it's really cool.
I admit I don't even know where to start with the Galina of it all.
We don't either.
I was about to say
Yeah,
I don't know where to start either.
Jesse, I guess I'll ask you, did you ever think your father's love life would impact the business as much as it has?
Honestly, no, because he preached to us as kids and young adults that to never let a relationship get never involve business with a relationship. And obviously, he very much failed at that, and not just completely, he completely tanked it. So, yeah, no, I did not think it would ever come to that point. It definitely has gotten to that point,
yeah.
and it's involved us more so than I'd probably like to admit or that we'd like. So it's been an interesting thing. It's a hot topic every day, pretty much, for all of us.
Steven, I feel like you've really had a front row seat to some of this drama because you're in the office with Galina. What is your take on the whole Masha situation? Because honestly, I'm a little nervous for her.
Galina's not the only Russian in the picture.
There's another one.
My dad moved me out, then he moved in, backstabbing who?
So what happened to your car?
You killed my chickens. I mean, do you live in your own world?
Do you live in your freaking horrible?
It was an involuntary front seat, might I add. But yeah, it's, I get to see what Galina does day in and day out, and she is so valuable to the business. She has worked so hard from where she's came from and overcome so much, and is such an integral part to what we've done and what we're hoping to do, that I have a deep respect for Galina professionally. And then I have to see some of these personal breakdowns where it's like, Galina, come on. Like, I see the value that you bring to the table from the professional side. Like, I see how valuable you are to the company. But these people that don't get to see what you do day in and day out in the office, they only get to see this personal, like, craziness. And so they're not seeing the value that you bring. And it's definitely led to some very tough conversations and some, me having to be Galina's largest advocate to all of our companies. And heck, even sometimes to Cole and Jesse, where I'm like, guys, you don't know what Galina handles in the office. Like, she is so important, because they're like, she's a mess. And I'm like, yes, she is, but she's very good in the office. And she works very hard. But the Masha thing, you'll get to see how that all plays out, but it is a mess. And I am not a fan of the drama between Galina, Masha, and my dad.